And I think that's it. Desktop audio is on, mic is on, and we got forecast in the background. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream, Thursday edition, the Taproom Tales with John and Ales block. How are we all doing, and how are we doing today, guest of the stream, John?
I'm doing pretty good. Just getting ready to play some Elden Ring.
Yeah, when's the last time you picked up this gem?
Wasn't it last week? I think that's the last time that we played.
So you actually haven't touched the game since last we played.
Yeah, I have not.
So what you are actually saying is that you've got this sour taste in your mouth ever since you last played this game. You're like, how dare it?
Well, yeah, I guess we could say that for the story. Realistically, it's just because I've been doing some other stuff and playing some other stuff, really.
And as we do know, this entire stream does have a storyline. Things really heated up at the end of season 2 with some characters popping in, but so far it's actually been pretty dull. It's actually been reintroducing some characters to new viewers, and things have actually kind of come to a crawl. But enough about the recaps. You can catch those on YouTube. Before we get right into the action, let's go ahead and talk about what's on tap today. Do you have anything that you're enjoying today, John?
No, just some good old H2O.
Water it is. Water is good. Water is life. We must always use the element which brings life to defeat Sub-Zero. Today, what I have is a Sweet As Pi-Neapple, which comes from our friends at Oakland United Beerworks, which is a brewery here in California. So Sweet As Pi-Neapple is actually a sour ale. Do you know what a sour ale is, John?
I do not.
Well, we can talk about it. That's okay. Don't run away. It'll be fine. So when it comes to beers, there's 3 main fundamental flavors. One of them is sweetness, and that generally comes from the malts that you put into the beer, the grains and what have you. Then you have bitterness, which largely comes from hops and the bittering agents that those deposit. And then in a tiny little corner of its own, we've got sour taste, and that's actually created by 2 factors, and they are alive. One of them is yeast, and the other one is bacteria. And so yeast predominantly in Belgium, or at least historically in Belgium, the one that comes from there is known as Brettanomyces, and they give the beer a largely gentle sour taste, very very rustic sour taste, almost like tasting like a ground vineyard type style of sourness. And that one is actually very interesting because it's done over time and it's done out in the atmosphere. You leave your beer largely exposed to the elements, and the air provides a lot of that yeast into the barrels. The souring is actually quite a slow process, and you get really good stuff out of that. That's the classic way of doing that. These days they have something known as kettle souring, and that is largely done with bacteria instead. Bacteria being the enemy of everything that is good. No, I'm kidding. They do well with yogurt. But much in the same way that yogurt uses bacteria, you've got bacteria known as lactobacillus, and they produce things like lactic acid, of course. But they've also got souring agents there, and they are much quicker than the yeast at making beer sour. So they are also a good time. They're not my favorite. They're largely known as kettle sours because the process takes a lot. It's a lot faster, and instead of being done in a wooden barrel like the Belgian varieties, it's actually done in steel kettles. That was a lot. Any thoughts on any of that?
Yeah, you said that you use or they use lactobacillus. Does that mean that it's safe for people who are lactose intolerant?
I'm not a doctor, but I will probably say that it is poison, and now I'm a doctor. So there's that bit of history for you. Let's see what Untapped has to say on the issue of Sweet As Pi-Neapple. Plot twist, it has a pineapple. So let's see. Sweet as Pineapple, it has no description. That is weird. Untapped generally has a description on these things. Well, that's okay. We can go ahead and make it up as we go. I've actually had this beer a number of times. It's not my favorite sour. It's indeed a kettle sour as far as I can taste it. And it does have a faint taste of pineapple. Let me go ahead and open this. God, I've got sticky cans. There's stickiness at the bottom of some of my fridge cabinets, and I have no idea where that comes from. So sours generally pour clear. I do believe that they are filtered before distribution, but that's not the case every time. Certainly not with the old system. And that's what it looks like. Fairly translucent. It's got a nice head, very almost like a perfumey type quality to the scent of the pineapple, and certainly some hints of sourness. Not like a gusher, but more like a gentle lemonade. Fingernail. And some additional sourness, definitely some sweetness. I can pick up some strawberries there as well. The pineapple not as strong as I would like it to be. I do like pineapple. I like my fleshy fruits. What's your favorite fruit, John?
It's probably something between sweet grapes and watermelon. I think probably watermelon.
Watermelon, really? I feel like that's a dark horse pick.
Is it?
I think it's a dark horse pick. Like a watermelon? Maybe the cube watermelons. Those are kind of cute.
Well, I don't really pick it for how cute it is. I just pick it for how tasty and refreshing.
Not the form factor.
No, not really.
Not that you can carry it like a GameCube.
Although that is a plus.
Yeah, that is indeed a plus. Okay, well, let's drop that in the chat as the question of the day. If we get any visitors, they can have at it, as they say. What is your favorite fruit? And then we will challenge them to prove their might. All right. So that's that. Let's take a quick break. I'm just going to update my Untapped, and we will start playing on the other side of this break. And be right back. back. Let's cut all the background music. Desktop audio is back on. And let's put the Elden Ring back on as well. And I hate it when I mess with the defaults. So how's your week been, John?
It's been pretty good. I actually started this week watching Avatar 2, which was pretty nice.
Avatar 2. Korra?
No, Avatar as in the Blue Cat people from James Cameron.
Okay. Well, what I guess let's say spoilers. I haven't seen it, but I'm not really that interested. I mean, I will watch it, but I do not run away from spoilers. I will not run away.
I mean, yeah, sure, I guess spoilers for Avatar: The Way of Water, but I mean, it's a pretty straightforward story. I would say that most of the appeal of the movie is in the visuals and in kind of like the CG and all the different world building that happens, kind of like how well James Cameron and team does at like bringing you into the world of Pandora. I thought it was very cool. Um, I guess the story is fairly basic. The protagonist from the first one, which was Jake Sully, is once again threatened by military people. And at the beginning of the movie, it's actually kind of interesting. The main bad guy, if you remember him, he was Quaritch, which was this old military guy.
Yeah, he was kind of
actually,
a hard ass with a heart of gold. Mine is the heart.
yeah, I don't think he had a heart of gold. But I mean, this time around, so he died at the end of the first movie.
Yes, he did.
Uh, but they bring him back. They actually bring him back. They resurrect him using like an avatar genome, gene cloning, synthetic, whatever kind of words that can help you understand that they basically cloned him into an avatar version of himself.
Nanomachines.
Yes.
CRISPR.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so they brought him back. He's still an a-hole, but I guess the twist in the story is that now his kid is a human kid who has been living with the Avatar people. So the kid is very sympathetic to the Avatar people, but he captures the kid, and so his whole thing is basically being a military dickhole while being an Avatar, while at the same time also kind of like listening to his kid and being like, hey, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. He has like some of those father-son moments that you usually expect.
That's pretty cool. So I did vaguely hear about the plot of this movie, and I was aware of the fact that they brought him back, not once but twice, I guess. Like I said, I don't intend on. I do intend on watching that movie at some point, not anytime soon. But at least what intrigued me from that particular plot line was how how do both characters each relate to the world? Because one of them is the child of somebody who wanted to kill these people, who is essentially like an adopted child, but also an adopted species into this world. And how does he deal with that? And then you've got somebody who is resurrected, who has the memories of, I guess, whoever, but is not really that person. And apparently he has a kid, but they are a different species. So it's just a very complicated situation, actually. It's complicated.
It is a very interesting, yeah, it is a very interesting dynamic. Um, I do wish they explored it a little bit more. They did focus a little bit more on Jake Sully and his family.
Uh-huh.
His family is, he had a kid with the alien lady from the first movie, and so they sort of explore his family life, and they also kind of have like a whole character arc for like one of the kids, and so that's cool. Uh, I wish that they explored Quaritch and his kid a little bit more, but it was still pretty interesting to watch, and I think I did like his character, even though he was a jerk, because I don't know, it just felt like he was a little bit more complex versus the first movie. So that was fun to watch.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Plus the graphics, like I say, the visuals or graphics, I can't overstate it. They were really, really cool, and it was very crazy to see that actor, the actor that played Quaritch, uh, basically be transplanted into this avatar, um, to this avatar, you know, body, and how well they captured like his facial animations and stuff. It was really, really, really good.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Like I said, I'll have to catch it. I doubt that I'll do so in the theaters, but so be it. I don't really need to watch everything at the highest specs possible. Um, but before we talk about this anymore, one of the things that I wanted to do, and you actually suggested, so props to you, John, is I should strengthen my weapon. This is something that I have actually never done, and it is one of the mechanics from Elden Ring that I guess I've completely missed this entire time. Is the idea that I just simply use this thing uh, and strengthen it using runes? Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah, you use runes and I think the blacksmithing stones.
Okay, well, where do I see the prize? Oh, I guess required items, smithing stone 1. Okay, sure, let's do it.
I
25
mean,
more attack, that's pretty neat.
yeah. If it doesn't show you a rune cost, then I guess it's free from a rune perspective.
Ooh, I can make it even stronger actually. I wonder how many times I can actually strengthen it. Oh wait,
I think it's a fair bit.
it is taking my runes. Never mind. It's just at the bottom of the icon. How fun. Let's do it +3.
I think you can strengthen it up to a point, and then after a certain point, it asks you for a different type of stone, I think.
Oh, actually, I can't increase it at this smithing table anymore.
So if maybe you should try the blacksmith at the round table.
Uh,
Remember that round table place?
well, I mean, I did just strengthen it 3 times. What are the chances that I am not strong enough? What are the chances? I'm just gonna go mess around with my new sword, I guess, for a while, and then we'll see where that goes.
Okay.
I mean, without any other particular aspect of Avatar 2, and we're still in spoiler territory for everyone watching, any other aspect of Avatar 2 that you thought was significant?
Um, I think it was a pretty okay story. You know, it's nothing earth-shattering. It's not like a very complex, deep, you know, you think it over type of story. It's not a super thoughtful one. It's a pretty basic, you know, hero story. You know, try to save your family, and then, you know, you know, you get challenged by the bad guy, etc., etc. Um, so I would say story-wise, it's not super compelling, but it's good enough to sort of see all the cool stuff. I watched it in IMAX 3D, so I did see it with the 3D stuff.
Uh, Actually, speaking of the technical aspects of things, as you might have already guessed, I am not great at determining how good a picture looks. Um, let that let that be showcased by the fact that I use goggles in order to play games. I don't actually care how blurry things look. But I did hear, upon hearing reviews of Avatar 2, that apparently not every theater has the same quality of picture, and so like as you would as you can imagine, theaters with higher budgets do have slightly better, upscale screenings, and it depends on the type of equipment that they possess that they can show different types of versions. And it
Right.
did hear that there was one with I forget what it's called, but it's like You know how frame rate, variable frame rate. That's what it says. That's what it's called. Apparently, there were some
Okay.
showings that were done in variable frame rate, which is apparently what the director actually wanted it to be like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Well, I would imagine it's like in certain scenes, maybe like the image becomes extremely smooth or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So hyper smooth, and then in the other is it's different.
Hmm.
So
Was that for a 3D screening or was that just for like 2D screenings? Do you happen to know?
I don't actually know. Jeez.
Yeah, because I don't know how you would do that. Well, I mean, I have no concept about like 3D, 2D, film technology. But I don't know. I feel like maybe it would be a little bit more difficult to do that smooth variable frame rate stuff in 3D. I don't know. But I did watch it IMAX. I watched it IMAX because that's the I guess the most visually appealing, visually uh, highest graphics option that was available near my area. So that's what I went with. But I don't know if there was a different, if there was other offerings really. I saw that there was like 2D. I saw that there was like non-IMAX 3D, and then there was IMAX 3D. So I just went with IMAX 3D because I figured, if you're gonna go 3D, that's probably the way to go.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I doubt that anybody's going into the movie theater trying to study what the um, possibilities are beyond the number of dimensions.
Well, I did decide to splurge on 3D because, a lot of people said that they really liked watching Avatar 1 in 3D, and I didn't watch it in 3D when it came out. I still enjoyed it, I think. From what I remember, I still enjoyed it. But a lot of people said that that was an experience, so I was like, well, why not have an experience?
Gotcha. Well, it sounds like you got your money's worth. So good. Good on you. Avatar 2 gets the Taproom Tales John and Ales bump. What is
Yeah, I
this?
kind of wish I would have given the bump sooner because I think it's literally out of theaters already.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we missed that window.
Yeah, I literally watched it in the last week. At least in my IMAX theater, the last week that they were offering tickets.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, Avatar 2. I feel like like I said, I do intend on watching it. I'll probably watch the first one first before I actually check this one out. So as far as I can tell, my sword is pretty strong. It did cut down these howling monkeys in a single swipe. Lovely. Ooh. Cut them down like
You seen?
butter.
Have you seen any good movies lately?
Movies? I don't think so. Not really any movies. Wait a second. I did see. What did I see last weekend? Sorry, I am trying to remember, and at the same time, I'm trying to roll into a skull. And as you can imagine, both take the same amount of focus. What is this guy? The demi-humans whack wroth. Now their mother's been taken. Where are you, Lord Kenneth? What is this? Somebody stuck in the ground. I'm trying to think if I saw any movie. Did I tell you that I saw it'll come to me. I'm sure it'll come to me. I did see
Was it a
though.
superhero movie?
No, it wasn't a superhero movie. I did see the first episode of season 3 of The Boys. Have you already seen that?
I have not.
What? How far did you get into that show?
I got it up until season 2, so I am at the cusp of starting season 3.
Why haven't you started it?
'Cause I'm busy watching Dahmer, which I actually haven't watched any new episodes because I've been doing other stuff.
So you're not actually busy watching Dahmer, are you? Did you just try to lie
Well,
to me?
well, no, that's the show that I'm watching if I watch TV, but I haven't watched too much TV. I'm gonna
Trying.
be honest.
You weren't only lying to me. You were trying to lie to the Ales and Fails Nation, John.
It wasn't a lie. It wasn't a lie. If I had a time to watch TV aside from doing other stuff, then I would have watched Dahmer.
Okay.
But what's your spoiler-free review of The Boys season 3 episode 1?
Let's see. Well, the boys are back, as you can imagine. But I mean, we can talk about the ending of season 2, where essentially everything is under control. Homelander is afraid of the video being released to public, and apparently the government now has watch over the superheroes. Sorry, the soups. I find it very funny. If I were to live in that world and that's what we call them, I would say, well, what is soups for? How come nobody says that ever? But yeah, so it seems like everything is under control. There's less superhero related crime, and yeah, everything like seemed to be nicely wrapped up. They have Homelander's kid somewhere safe, and that's kind of the start of season 3. It's been like, I think, a couple of years, maybe a couple of years, and you kind of revisit them, and yeah, I think everyone is at an interesting place. I would say in terms of where it starts, it essentially is where things left off. I believe Huey, that's his name. He got the job with that congresswoman. Was she a congresswoman? Is she a congresswoman? I forget exactly what her title
I
is.
think she is. Well, she's like a government person, a political person. So.
Yeah, well, he's working with her. Things are going well. Homelander is still surly about what has happened, but is not making any moves. Things seem pretty bright, and then a couple of folks start getting antsy, and yeah, I would say that right now I can see where this is going to go. They have started dropping hints, and one of the major reveals from the ending of season 2 might play a pretty big part in the start of season 3.
Sounds like it's related to the Congress thing.
Well, I didn't say that. Stop putting words in my mouth.
Sounds like you have heavily implied.
I did not imply such a thing. Maybe I was talking about Homelander being surly. He takes up drinking, and he says, "The heck with you guys," and he flies into the sun.
Goodness.
All right. I'm trying to find the giant tree that I went into that time, but I am having a very difficult time without like pulling up my map every 5 seconds. One of the things that I am impressed and also flustered by in Elden Ring is just the fact that the world is so massive that you can be next to a very important structure, but until you literally walk into it, you won't see it. Do you ever get that feeling?
Yeah, I will agree the world is pretty massive. I've definitely gotten lost even though I've been next to stuff. It's also the changes in elevation sometimes. Sometimes the map shows like you're right next to it, but there's like a big cliff next to it, so you're actually not next to it.
Yeah, there's also that.
That's good. It sounds like season 3 of The Boys has started off in a good note.
Chump, this guy. For my targets. What is that? Is that a giant? Well, I suggest you watch it. Maybe as soon as you're done with Dahmer. Why is it that bears in this game look like they're essentially bipedal creatures? It
I don't
actually
know.
just looks like a gorilla, to be honest with you.
They're pretty odd looking, I will say. But I mean, bears in real life sometimes stand up on 2 legs.
Whoa, hey. Have you actually taken down a bear? It seems like it's actually quite powerful.
Um, I mean, I haven't taken down that bear that's on your stream right now. That one seems pretty massive. But I have taken down little bears.
Jeez. Alright, I'm out of here. This is ridiculous. I thought I had him, but... Oh my god! What? I ran into a second one just down the street. What a... What a... Sorry. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in the clear, guys. Everything's gonna be okay. I will also say that is one of the things that I do find kind of frustrating about this game specifically. It is just the fact that the way you angle your camera at some points because you want to have the enemy in sight. So you're running away from a monster and you kind of just run away. It sometimes prevents you from seeing what's directly in front of you or what you're running into.
Oh, you're talking about the lock-on camera mechanism?
I mean, I don't know, but that's what it is.
I mean, I know that sometimes that happens when I'm locked on and I run away, and it takes a while to lock off, but I think you can just press the lock-on button again to remove that.
I don't know, man. It's certainly not the best. I guess what I was mostly trying to imply is the fact that if I was actually in this world, I should probably know that I am running into something difficult.
See what you're saying?
Oh, wait a second. This is a little bear.
Crap.
Look at that. Took him down. I'm sure it was this little bear was the other bear's father.
Shouldn't that be the opposite?
No. What is this? Oh, wait a second. I think I've been here. following this old jester.
Hey, so when's the last time you've played a horror game?
Um, it has, excuse. It's certainly been a while. I honestly don't. First of all, I don't believe horror games are in my wheelhouse, um, and they haven't been for since I was a young child. Why do you ask?
Um, because I guess I never really thought of myself as a horror game player, but I would say that I did find a strange fondness for BioShock 1 when I played it, which I didn't really think of as a horror game at first, but then I realized, well, it has a lot of horror elements. And it is kind of creepy sometimes. So I would say that it's a horror game. And then recently, through a promotion from my from purchasing my graphics card, my newest graphics card, they gave me this game called the Callisto Protocol. Have you heard of that game?
It sounds very familiar, but I've never played it.
Have you ever heard of or played the Dead Space series?
I know of the Dead Space series, yes.
So basically, the Dead Space series is a third-person horror shooter, where you play as this I guess this engineer in like this spaceship, and you're basically trying to, if I remember the story correctly, you're trying to escape the spaceship because you got stranded or something to that effect. And there's a bunch of creepy alien monsters. And so I actually like that game as well. It's been a little bit longer since I played that one. I actually played BioShock 1 more recently. But I did enjoy Dead Space 1. Dead Space 1, I didn't finish it, but I did like it. I didn't finish it because I felt like it dragged on a little bit too long, but I did like what it was trying to do. Um, Callisto Protocol is a lot like that because it's essentially the same third person perspective, and it's also like space themed horror because you're like on a spaceship and everything's technologically advanced, but then there's also these creepy fleshy body horror monsters basically. And so it's a pretty entertaining game, I will say. I think it actually has a developer from the Dead Space team on it that helped develop that game. And yeah, I've just found myself pleasantly surprised playing that game because, kind of like you, I never really thought horror games were in my wheelhouse, and I never really cared for like jump scares and stuff like that. But I think that recently, when I've played these games, like jump scares don't really mess with me too much. Like they're kind of like annoying in there, but I don't really care about it too much. I think probably the aspect that I enjoy the most about these games is just the atmosphere, because it does a really good job at like creating these like really dark and dismal settings, and plus the fact that I can play it at such high fidelity, I guess adds to the immersion.
Sorry, I'm taking down this foolish bear with all my wolves. I feel pretty happy, though it might destroy me. Oh, there it goes.
Well, good luck.
Jeez. I can't see the thing. Oh, great. Bears actually give you a bear hug in this game. Imagine that.
That's some kind of boss battle? Or is that just like a really difficult monster?
Took it down. But I really had like everything on my side for that one. Like I was at full health and I had my wolves with me. Only one of which survived. You could say that I cheesed that, uh, but I will not. Okay. Hopefully these catacombs just have a treasure. And then I can be on my merry way. So that sounds fun. If I were to enjoy horror games, tell me, when was this game made? Callisto Protocol.
It released late last year, actually.
I see. So it's relatively new.
Yeah, people are saying that uh, it does sort of drop off a little bit later on. But I'm gonna keep playing it and see if that is the case, because I'm enjoying it so far.
Liar ahead, no secret passage ahead. Okay, well, it seems like this chest might have a trap, but I'm already here. I don't really want to not check out what it is. What do you think? Should I go for it?
Uh, what is the what is the Dungeons and Dragons player inside of you say?
I would have to roll insight, right? Or perception? Or roll a
What if
dope?
you roll very poorly and your dungeon master doesn't want to give you any help?
Well, you kind of just read their face, right? Like you're like, come on, Steve. All right, I'm just gonna open it. Ooh, an X talisman. I don't know what that is. Why is it always item? That's fun. Let me go see what that actually does. Have you actually delved any into talismans?
Yeah, I have a couple of talismans. I have like the fire resistance talisman. I have one that apparently improves jump attacks, one that improves counter attacks.
Okay, so here it is. Enhances charge attacks. Do I have a charge attack? Hammer talisman enhances stamina. Okay. Well, I guess they might be weapon specific. The one that I generally keep on myself is green turtle talisman. It raises stamina recovery speed. So I guess I recover stamina at a faster clip. Though I can't tell. Because generally by the point that I'm running out of stamina, it means that I'm losing a battle.
You see.
Alright. Well, good. I bested that bear. Life is complete.
Did you need to best the bear to get the talisman?
Well, the bear was lying on top of the staircase, so yes.
Oh, I see.
Alright, let's get out of here. And actually, where am I in terms of runes? 2,174. Do I have... I barely have any runes to level up. Let's see, what time is it? Maybe in like 20 minutes I'll try the market fight just for kicks.
Sounds good.
And sorry, just checking something on the old phone. I wonder why it is, and you tell me, you're an experienced streamer, why is it that people, the outside life messages me or calls me on the phone every time I'm in the middle of this?
You mean why why people message you?
Okay, let me backtrack and spell it. It's not that I have friends messaging me. That happens all the time, except it never happens. What I'm suggesting is things from the outside world that are not socially related just happen to knock.
I see. I don't know. I guess that might be a personal responsibility issue. Maybe you
Yeah,
have too many responsibilities.
when duty calls, as they say. All right, let's see what. See, I came here to go to the Siofra River well, and I still can't find it, even though it's a giant tower.
See, for a second there, I thought you were just flexing about the amount of people that you know.
No,
You
no,
were just saying, "Oh,
actually,
my phone is blowing up right now. Sorry."
yeah, no, no, unfortunately not. This is the Ails and Fails Switch stream, John. I don't only fail at games, I fail at life.
Don't say that. Maybe you'll start getting more follows, and then your phone will truly be blowing up.
It's like, hey, great stream, uh, friend.
You know, a lot of people struggle with that once they become big streamers. They have to deal with a bunch of people following them around in like MMOs or, you know, getting endless friend requests in Steam or certain games because of that.
I do not doubt that that happens, but let's just say that while I am on the extreme opposite end of that spectrum, it is not something that I particularly think about.
Just be careful what you wish for.
Okay, I wish for that.
Said be careful.
No. Geez, there's a lot of sleeping bears in this area. I'm trying to just outrun all of them and try to get to this tower. Tower of Power. Oh, here it is, finally. Have you ever been to the Siofra River well?
I have not.
Let me quick snap you what that looks like in terms of the map location. So it's all the way over here. I would say east Limgrave. I don't know. I have no idea what this area is called since I don't have a map for it. But it is this temple. I may have talked to you about it actually. It's this temple that has like a elevator that you go down for like about 20 minutes and then it's like a whole new world map.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's supposed to be someplace you're gonna go in the story, or if it's just, I don't know, if it's just side content.
So I did see The Last of Us. You haven't seen it because you do not have HBO. Is that still true?
That is still true.
Hey, you should find other means of catching it.
Are you trying to suggest
No,
I do
I would never
something?
suggest crimes. I abide by the law. Like Judge Dredd once said, I am the law. But yeah, you should find some creative ways of watching it.
Maybe wait for my neighbor to come in. My neighbor who I know watches The Last of Us, and then sneak up to his window at night and watch it while he's watching it.
That's legal. I think that's illegal.
A little bit creepy, but possibly legal.
Possibly.
Questionably legal.
So I guess I can. I feel like you should watch it. We can talk about that some more off stream, but without discussing any spoilers, episode 3 just came out, and it was very touching, a very touching episode. I haven't played too much of The Last of Us. I literally only played the first hour of it, and I was told that season 3 deviates significantly from the main storyline, but it sounds like what they decided to add was pure gold.
Hmm. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that in the news as well. That apparently they have that guy that played a character in Parks and Recreations, that comedy show. Uh,
Yes, Nick Offerman, I think.
yeah, and apparently he delivered like a really stellar performance.
Yeah, he absolutely did. I've never seen Parks and Recreation, so I don't know how well he acts in that one. But yeah, certainly something that I'm going to think about for a long time.
It's kind of funny how they get these actors from comedy and they make them into really good dramatic actors. I think Vince Gilligan's catalog has been a testament to that, and now apparently they have this other guy, Nick Offerman, doing that.
Well, here's a hot take. I feel like comedian actors can generally be great dramatic actors when given the chance. It's just that
Mhm.
it's rare when they're given that chance, that
Actually,
is.
I actually wonder, has has Jim Carrey ever had the chance to do some? I mean, I'm pretty sure he has, but I'm trying to think of a movie that I've watched with him where he has like a mainly dramatic role.
Well, I can tell you that I can't believe you didn't say The Truman Show, one of the greatest movies of our time. Yours and mine, we are
Yeah.
the same age.
Yeah, we are the same age, of course. How could I forget?
Same age, we're
Um,
same generation.
but yeah, I thought that that movie had kind of a comedic tinge to it, though, didn't it?
I think it was sardonic. I think there was a lot of irony involved. I thought that the character was just a person who thought himself to be relatively funny in the things that he did, but there was no him playing as a comedian. At least that was my take on it. I thought the whole notion of the things that he had to do were dramatic on their own.
I have to watch that movie again because you're probably right. That is probably a dramatic role that he's been in. I guess it's hard for me to think about Jim Carrey and not think about comedy because he's been in so many great comedy movies.
I mean, I think one of the greatest examples of this is just Robin Williams. He had way, like, I believe that at least a third of his latter catalog was dramatic movies.
That is true. The Dead Poet Society was pretty great.
I should really rewatch that one. Ah, these guys. And then there's Steve Carell, which I don't think that he has like had an outstanding dramatic movie, but I feel like a lot of the roles in which he has played a dramatic actor have at the very least been touching.
Mhm. I guess I haven't seen too much drama with Steve Carell. I think the only one that comes to mind is Little Miss Sunshine, and even that one I forget what the premise of the movie was, so I can't really remember his portrayal. I wonder if there's been an actor who's gone from drama to comedy.
Yeah, not sure. And then, oh wait, speaking of, I almost forgot one of the biggest Jim Carrey ones. I don't know if you've seen this one, but it's probably one of my favorite movies of all time, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I've heard about that one, but I don't think I've watched it.
I think you should really watch that one. That one is solid. Very mind bendy, but a lot of heart in it. I feel like Will Ferrell has done a couple of dramatic movies which I have enjoyed in the past. Jeez, there's a lot of these punks here. Ah, great. I like it how my summons just walk up to the enemy. They have no finesse. Wow. What? Wow. I got killed by, I don't know, 300 spears.
Pretty rough.
Well, it's time to do the pretty old, the tried and true run in with my horse, get my stuff, and leave. I might as well just get those runes and then... Let's see how many runes I have. If I have enough runes to potentially level up, I don't want to lose them in Margit.
Hey, so have you heard about that new Velma TV show?
I have heard about it. I've heard there's a lot of backlash against it.
Yeah, I've also heard that a lot of people are hating on it.
Have you actually seen it?
No, I'm not a big Scooby-Doo guy. I mean, even if I did, what's it called, have the intention, I don't really follow any of the characters, so no real drive.
That makes sense. Jeez, these guys just get you. For as tough as these punks are, they sure don't give a lot of XP. That's a bit frustrating. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna get my stuff. Get out of here. Honestly, it was just 3,000 runes. Not really the biggest loss in the world. What is this? Golden centipede. Honestly, I wish there was a rune bank where you would just bank your runes, obviously, and then you could go and do crazy fights and then come back.
Oh yeah, do you wish there was some kind of goblin who would take your runes?
Yeah. Why does it have to be a goblin? Are you suggesting that they are more money minded for some reason?
Well, you know how goblins are historically.
I do, yeah, historically, those goblins.
I could have said dwarf as well.
Yeah, but you didn't. Uh, Alright, I feel like, nah, might keep going. Have you seen anything else of note this week?
I think. Not really. Just been finishing up my audiobook mostly. I haven't devoted too much time to TV or movies aside from watching Avatar earlier.
Very cool, very cool. Ooh, and an elevator up.
Hey, so are you excited for those Crunchyroll Anime Awards that's apparently happening in early March?
Is that what's happening? I believe I knew that they were coming up. I don't actually know when they are happening.
Yeah, apparently early March.
Gotcha.
Apparently the nominees for Anime of the Year are Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Demon Slayer Entertainment District Arc.
Hold on a second.
Uh,
Demon Slayer, the first season?
it says Entertainment District Arc. Arc.
Oh, I guess I haven't seen
Yeah.
that. Actually, I only saw season one of that show. I know that there's a train arc which everyone raves about, but I haven't seen that, unfortunately. And I wasn't aware of a street market season or whatever it is you said.
It says Entertainment District, so
Okay.
I don't know.
That was pretty close. I was going to say it's pretty close.
There's also Licorice Recoil.
What do you mean,
Ranking of
licorice?
It says Licorice,
Okay.
like Lycoris. I don't know
Gotcha.
if that's licorice. Maybe in some kind of weird pronunciation. There's also Ranking of Kings 4-2.
I've heard of Ranking of Kings, actually.
Yeah, is it any good?
I haven't seen it. What the?
And finally, Spy X Family.
Well, I hope Spy, Oh, come on. Why am I here? God, I can't go around this guy. Alright, only way is forward, I guess. This giant enemy crab was just blocking my way back.
I've also encountered giant enemy crabs. I wonder if you're near the area where I'm at.
Well, I'm still down this river. Ooh, there's another one of... That's nice. Side of Grace. I thought there would only be one side of grace in this world. I'm just fed up with this world. But I really like Spy X Family or Spy Cross Family. Have you caught that one?
I have not.
Well, it is about a family that is composed of a spy, an assassin, and a telepath, and none of them really know that they are these. They have these identities. They just live as a family.
Interesting.
It's good. I really like it. It's quite wholesome and also has some nice action.
Would you say it's an accurate portrayal of a family life?
Well, the telepath is a child. And yeah, there's some truth there. I feel like there's some truth there.
Sounds like fun.
Wow, I'm going up the steps of the sanctuary. What is that? I'm sure that's a boss. That is definitely a boss of some sort. Hallowhorn Grounds. Well, maybe it's not a boss. Maybe it's just a thing. And there's a rune. There's a message on top of it. Great. Why is it always dog? I don't know what that means. I guess it wasn't the boss. What is this? Try fingers. First off, you don't have the right. Seems like it's a chasm. Don't think I want to jump off. So out of that list, do you have a pick yourself?
I honestly can't say that I've watched any of those shows this year. I guess I haven't really watched too much anime in the year of 2022.
You have sworn off anime. Is that what you're saying?
So I have sworn off anime.
You've
I have made an oath.
You've gone cold turkey with the animes.
Yes, I've made an oath not to touch anime.
You're an oath keeper, not an oath breaker.
Yes.
Papu fruit.
Papu fruit.
Okay, but I also liked Attack on Titan final season part, whatever the last part was. Quite good, quite good. Very interested to see what the ending of that show is.
How many seasons are there of Attack on Titan?
I would assume I think it's 4 at this point. But the last season has been split up a number of times, so it's almost like each of them is a season on its own. Wow, these are real enemies? Oh. What? I thought that they were just like visions of dead characters and it's actually enemies. I guess they look slightly blue. I'll be safe over here. Oh, there's more of these guys. In fact, they're everywhere. Wonder how tough they are. Never mind, they are very tough.
It looks like you're fighting some kind of ghost barbarians.
Alright. I don't know that this is the... Why did I just get off the freaking horse? Well, at least I'm safe inside my mind.
Always good.
What are you doing on your side of the world anyways?
I'm just trying to wade through this area, trying to figure out where exactly is
Carmen
this
San
this
Diego.
key. Yeah, I guess I'm also trying to find Carmen San Diego because I honestly don't know where to find this key to break through into this town that I need to go into.
Ooh, I got a cookbook. What's the point of getting all these cookbooks anyway? I'm assuming it's just more recipes, right?
Yeah, it's more recipes for crafting.
Makes sense. This coming from a person that has never crafted one thing once.
Well, that's not true. You've crafted finger calling remedies.
Wow, this crab is still chasing. How is this? Okay. I'm just gonna get out of this river. I don't think I'm where I need to be in terms of level. Kind of becoming a persona non grata in this place. I actually don't know where I came from, so I'm also just kind of meandering about.
Okay, so here's a question. Do you own any stainless steel cookware?
No. Or stainless steel cookware. I might have a couple of pieces. That's a question. Why do you ask?
I've been looking into getting a stainless steel frying pan because I don't know, I feel like I've been getting a lot more information about uh, frying things in very high temperatures with cookware that has Teflon being harmful to you. So I'm thinking about switching to something that is not Teflon, but at the same time not as high maintenance as cast iron cookware.
So why is Teflon bad for you? I'm sure that it'll slowly poison you as with everything that every bad material that you come in contact with. But why exactly is it this?
Well, John Oliver came out with a pretty good explanation of how Teflon is kind of harmful not only for you but also for the environment. So I would say give that a watch. He probably has a lot more sophisticated way of explaining the reasons why it's not very good for your health. Um, but yeah, I guess the cliff notes are that that stuff leaches into your body and it's not good for you long term.
So is Teflon the coating that goes on the frying pan? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's a non-stick coating.
Okay. And I'm assuming that parts of it come off as you use the cookware.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Well, I had no idea. Um, but I will also say that if you were to drop me in my kitchen and you were to ask me, hey, which of these is Teflon and or stainless steel, I would uh, give you a 50-50 answer. I don't actually know how to tell unless the thing actually tells you.
Well, I mean, Teflon is pretty easy. It's just like any frying pan that has like a black coating on its surface.
But isn't that just
And
the color of the metal?
no, that's actually the coating of Teflon
Oh,
because the metal would be shiny
huh.
unless it's like painted metal. But you don't really cook on painted metal because it would stick, and it's not any better than stainless steel, and you would also have to deal with like paint fumes. So you wouldn't cook on painted metal. You would only cook on like a Teflon surface, a stainless steel surface, or a cast iron. And I can sort of understand your uh I guess your non
Limitations.
no, not your limitations. I would understand why you might think that the surface of the metal is black, because actually cast iron has a similar surface to Teflon. Like, it looks kind of rough, and it's also dark. But the difference with cast iron is that the surface, the color of cast iron is black naturally. Um, but the way that they get past it, food not sticking to that, is by doing a process of seasoning, which is basically covering the whole pan in oil and then burning it so that it creates like a non-stick surface.
Oh, I see.
hmm Stainless steel is totally different from both of those. Stuff will actually stick if you don't oil it sufficiently, so you only cook food that you absolutely want oil on. And it's very difficult to cook eggs in stainless steel because eggs are notoriously very sticky.
They are notorious, those eggs. Well, I can't remember the last time I fried an egg, to be honest with you. I do the technique that everyone hates, which is I just microwave it and call it a day. I'm sorry that I need my eggs 2 minutes after I crave them.
Well, hopefully you're getting your eggs from a good place because, you know, cooking, or I guess cooking them in a microwave doesn't necessarily kill the bacteria.
Well, there goes that plan.
What I would suggest you do instead is you should take up poaching eggs, which is actually very easy if you have a tiny pot.
Wow. Just got killed by basic soldiers. What a mess. Let's go to the stake of Marika. So you are planning on investing on some stainless steel. That is the outcome of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe buying a stainless steel frying pan at first. Um, Primarily because I wanted to try out frying burgers on it, because I've been on a quest to learn how to make a good hamburger patty, because I feel like every single time that I've cooked a hamburger patty at home, it's been pretty lackluster.
Is that so?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I've watched a video by this YouTuber called I think it's Ethan Schlabowski or something like that. Have you heard of about him, or have you heard of anybody named that? I'm pretty sure I'm butchering his last name.
No, I actually have not.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. The guy's pretty big on YouTube. He's a I don't think he's like a chef. He doesn't really do recipes, but he mostly focuses on like the science of like cooking food, and different ways to improve some of your recipes. And one of the videos that he made was around how to cook a better burger at home. And it was a pretty interesting video because he goes into how really the main three things that you need to cook a good burger is one, you need to add sufficient amount of fat to the burger so that it's able to seal in the juices. Another aspect of it is what was it? Um, drawing a blank.
Good meat, maybe?
I mean, good meat is a given, but he said that you can also get meat from your grocery store and it should be fine.
Why didn't you want to give it to me? I said good meat, and you were like, oh, that's so obvious. I'm not even gonna give you that point. You never let me
I
have
mean,
one.
Is that true? Do I never let you have one?
Historically, in this show, no, you have never let me have one. People have been messaging me about that. It's like, boy,
I
that
see.
John, he's just hard on you. So what else? So what else is
It's
required?
also the heat. It's also the
Okay.
heat because if you if you don't cook it at high enough heat, then there's no Maillard reaction happening, and so one of the things that gives a burger a characteristic flavor is the crispy bits that form outside of the meat. So that's another aspect. So the fat, the heat. What else was it? It was a third thing.
The toppings.
No, the toppings. Fine, I'll give you this one. Another
Wow,
another
finally.
point.
Okay, that's the highlight of the stream. Let's clip that one.
Another point is the toppings, obviously, because you don't want to just eat bread and meat. You know, you obviously need some toppings. I'll give it to you, even though that
Okay, would
wasn't
you
mentioned
stop
in the
saying
video.
obviously?
Sorry, I'm being presumptuous.
All right. Um, yeah, that's always interesting when you go down to the science of trying to cook one of these things. And of course, there's a lot more than just having good ingredients and making it fresh and all this stuff. Does the video? Let me ask you this because I believe I know your pedigree, John. But does the video at all suggest what is the right cooking temperature?
Uh, I think there was a temperature set in the video, but I don't remember specifically.
Like the level of doneness. That's actually what I'm getting at.
Uh, I mean, I think it says just not to overcook it for too long.
No, okay. Fair enough. Uh, how do you like your burgers cooked, John?
If it's a place that I don't trust entirely, usually well done. Otherwise, I kind of like medium.
What is a type of place that you don't trust?
McDonald's.
Okay, that's fair.
Also, any sketchy local places that don't really inspire too much trust.
Like a biker, a bar, you would never get a medium burger there.
Yeah, I wouldn't get a medium burger there.
Like in a
I don't
Hell's
trust.
Angels location, you would be like, no,
Yeah,
scorch it.
basically. Any place that sells beer for extremely cheap.
Well, that's fair. I think that first of all, I don't know what McDonald's you've been to. They've never asked me what temperature I want my burger. So,
Well, I'm just saying I would need a rare burger at McDonald's.
well, that's actually sounds pretty interesting. Maybe you should have you actually made any attempts at cooking this perfect burger?
I mean, I've tried previously on just normal frying pans that I have, which is mostly Teflon. Um,
Does the
and
video actually comment on the pans themselves?
no, that video doesn't. But you know, I have tried. Uh, I think the last time that I did try, before I kind of went into a rabbit hole figuring out, or just researching some of this stuff, I feel like I didn't get it hot enough. Just because I also had a fear in the back of my mind about that Teflon. It's kind of the reason why I am thinking about buying a stainless steel pan, because if I'm going to undertake this journey of trying to find a good way to prepare a hamburger at home, I figure I should probably not be afraid of my cookware.
That's fair.
Though I will say Teflon is great for cooking eggs.
What's it called? Speaking of eggs and speaking of cooking, I have been trying to add more breakfast recipes to my repertoire. Um, Obviously, there's basic things like pancakes and waffles, which, every Dick and Joe can make. I do like making scrambles, but they are pretty simple after a while. You kind of just need to cook your ingredients properly and have your eggs ready, and really that's about it. I was trying to venture forth and try to make a good omelet. Do you like omelets, John?
I do like omelets.
Omelets are delicious. I feel they are a better version of breakfast burritos because fans of the stream will know I love my burritos, and I love burritos of every sort. But I feel like breakfast burritos always leave something to be desired. Jeez, this guy didn't let me roll.
What kind of omelet do you try to make? Just a standard?
Uh, Last time I tried to make an omelet, it was a simple ham and cheese omelet, which one of the most basic types that you can make, I guess. But I made the mistake of adding just a bit more salt than I should have. And so I was actually trying to find a recipe for an omelet that doesn't necessarily use cured meats, because I think that's what did me in last time. And of course, people have made omelets with every type of ingredient under the sun. But I'm honestly just trying to find something that's simple and easy. Uh,
Chorizo omelet?
maybe try to spruce up an old favorite like a veggie of some sort. Of course, there's things like chorizo. But I wanted to start out with something uh, that wasn't too greasy.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Yeah, omelets are pretty tasty, especially if they're not overcooked. I think that a really nice um, there's a really nice point in eggs that it's not you know, it's not too cooked where, it starts browning, but at the same time it's not too raw where, you're basically just eating raw eggs. I think there's a point where nothing is brown and everything is ever so slightly runny. I think that's probably the best point at which you can eat an omelet. Just any eggs, really, even scrambled eggs.
Yeah, I don't care for those runny egg scrambles. They're not great.
Speaking about breakfast food, do you make much bacon for breakfast?
No, not really. Not because of not because I don't enjoy bacon, but it's mostly because every single time I have tried to cook bacon on a pan, whether or not I add oil or anything, it will just smoke up and shrivel, and it will just be a shadow of its former self. And honestly, I don't feel like I need to try that hard. I think bacon is fatty enough as it is, and if it's also going to be a mess, then I feel like I can avoid it.
Well, if you haven't tried it before, I would suggest, and if you happen to have a toaster oven, it's also a good alternative. Cooking bacon in the toaster oven. Or just a regular oven, too. You can also do regular oven if you have enough bacon.
That could be an idea.
Yeah, you just have to time it right because sort of like cooking on the pan. If you leave it on for too long, it does shrivel. But you can time it so that it consistently gives you like the correct texture of bacon that you want. Um, and it's pretty reliable. So I would try that if I were you.
Have you ever come across these enemies that look like skeletons, but every time they see you, they start screaming and they alert everyone on like the next 20 miles?
Do like they throw death bolts at you, and if you kill them, do they get back up again?
No, they're just like regular trollish creatures. I don't know what they're even called.
Oh.
Kind of just annoying to fight them because they just scream all the time.
Are they like Stalfos from Legend of Zelda?
Yeah, they're like Stalfos. I think they're monkeys, to be honest with you.
Oh, that doesn't sound like Stalfos.
Well, if you look at them on their low poly graphics, they're definitely like Stalfos. Speaking of which, now that I'm seeing my stream, it's not really the greatest resolution there. So it goes. At this point, I'm at 5,000 runes, which means I'm essentially 3,000 away from getting a level up. So I might just go ahead and do that level up before the next time I face Margit. Doesn't make sense wasting those.
Fair enough.
Oh, one thing that I did see that I forgot to mention was a movie called The Menu. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
So The Menu is a movie about a bunch of people that go to this island uh, to visit a restaurant that apparently the restaurant, everything on the menu of the restaurant is made with things from the island, but it's incredibly expensive and apparently they only serve like 10 parties at a time or I think it's less than 10. Um, and the things that they serve are incredibly uh, esoteric, if that means anything to you. Uh, and of course, there's a bunch of rich people who are, a lot of them are snobs, of course. And as you can imagine, there's something nefarious that happens. Um, I think it's a very interesting watch. It's very interesting because I feel like it talks about how we perceive food and what we think about uh, food reviews and what is it about high-end restaurants that we favor and things of that sort. So since I guess we did just talk a lot about food and some movies, maybe that's something that I feel like you would be interested in.
That's interesting. What did you say it was called?
The Menu. Whoa, this was an actual monster. Okay, I'm out of here. And I think they're showing it on. I forget exactly what they were showing it on, but I don't think it's HBO. All right, and I
And
think.
it has that lady from that chess show.
Yeah,
Chess
yeah,
game.
yeah. I forget what the lady from the chess show is called, but the chef is played by that guy who was in that World War II movie, who was very stern. I forget what his name is, but he plays an incredibly militant type chef, and you kind of get into his backstory. Uh, like I said, I think it's a compelling movie. I think you should watch it. Alright, I'm just gonna teleport to someplace. And I think we'll hang up our boots here. Okay, that was a fun run. Nothing really eventful happened, but I did defeat that bear, and you did give me one, so that there's something to be said there. Let me go ahead and quit, actually. Cool. Well, any final thoughts, John, before we wrap this one up?
None really. Just I guess watch Avatar 2 when you have the time. When you don't have anything else to watch and you want to watch something cool, I guess.
High praise from a trusted source, as they say. Let me go ahead and change my scene here. And let's put some clarity on. Alright, much better. So apologies to anyone watching the stream. I feel like I should probably check on my frame rate at some point, figure that one out. But hopefully you had fun. If you're into this sort of thing, and if you're into beer talk, food talk, movie talk, talk, tune into the rest of my streaming catalog, if you will. I will be streaming tonight. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, and tomorrow night I'll be going back to the world of Super Metroid. But with that, yeah, have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Play by the law, of course, and have fun. Stay thirsty, Wolfkin. We'll see you again.